Hey guys, welcome to the 76th C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to begin looking at some of the time functions that the C standard library has to offer. But before we can begin using any of those functions, we first need to include the time header file at the top of our program right here, because that's where all the time functions are prototyped. So we're just going to go ahead right here and say include time.h. Alright? And the first thing that we're actually going to be doing with these time functions is we're going to get the current time on our computer and then just go ahead and print that out onto our screen as a string. Alright, but before we can actually call any function that retrieves us the current time, we first need a place to put that time in. And time in C is represented in something called a time t struct. So the first thing that we're going to do is just go ahead and create an instance of that struct. So we're going to say time underscore t, and then we'll just give it a name, and I'll just call it current time. Alright, so now we can actually call the function to get the current time on our computer, and that is just simply time. And then we just need to go ahead and pass through the address of some time t struct to store the current time in. So I'm just going to say the address of current time. So after we have this out onto our screen, all that we're going to do is just go ahead and convert this time t struct into a string. And the function to do that is just called cTime. So we just call the function cTime, and then we just need to pass through the address of our time t struct, so current time. And this function is simply going to return a string representing this time right here. And then we're just going to go ahead and print that out onto our screen. So we're going to say printf mod s, since we're printing out a string, and then we're just going to go ahead and print out the current time. So we run this, and out onto my screen I get Wednesday, June 27th, and then 22:34:52, which is just the military time for 10:34, and then the year is obviously 2012. But now let's say that we only wanted to access one or two of those things at a time. Let's say that we only wanted to access what month it is. So in order to do that, we have to go ahead and convert our time t struct into a tm struct. So in order to do that, we need to call a function called local time. And then we just need to go ahead and pass through the address of our time t struct that we want to convert into a struct tm. So we're going to pass through the address of current time. Alright? And then this function will just go ahead and return the address of a struct tm. So we're going to say struct tm, and then we just need to go ahead and give it a name, and I'll just call it my time. Alright, and this actually returns a pointer, so a pointer like that. So you're probably wondering why we need to have this struct keyword right here in front of the struct called tm, and that's just because that they didn't type define struct tm as just tm. So if we really wanted to, we could go up here and say type define and then struct tm just as like tm like that, and then if we just remove the tm, it'll run fine. If I run this right now, yeah, we get no errors. But if I didn't have this here and tried to run it, we'd get an error. It'd be like, what the heck is tm? It has no idea. So for right now, we're just going to go ahead and leave it as struct tm. So now if we look inside of this struct tm right here, my time arrow, and then look at all of its fields, we see that there are just fields for pretty much everything you want to know about time. So there's like the hour, the minute, the month, the second, and all that. Well, we'll just say that we're only interested in the month, so we'll say tm arrow month, and then we'll just go ahead and print that out onto the screen. So we're going to say printf mod I, since it's an integer, and then we'll just go ahead and print out the current month. And since it's June right now, you'd expect that we would get a 6 out onto our screen, but in fact we're going to get a 5, and that's because in C at least, the months are 0 based, so it thinks of January as 0, February as 1, and so on. So June is 5 to it. So if we wanted to actually print out the month number as we know it, we just have to go ahead and add 1 to it like that. And now if we run this, we should obviously get 6 out onto the screen, and yeah, we do. So all that we're going to do right here is we're just going to go ahead and print out the date like this. So first it's just going to be the month, so m slash and then the day, so slash day, and then the year, like that. So for today it would go ahead and look like 6, I think it's the 27th today, and it's 2012. So this is what we just want our output to be. So first it's going to be the month, then the day, and then the year. And sorry to all the people who live in Europe where it's like day, month, year, which actually makes more sense to me, but I don't know. We're going to keep it like this for right now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say the month, so an integer, slash the day, which is an integer, and then the year, so another integer. Like that. And right now we already have the month, so the next thing that we need to do is just go ahead and get the day. So we're going to say my time arrow tm underscore m day, and this just means month day, so the day of the month. And then finally we just need to print out the year, so my time arrow tm underscore year. And this year is actually the number of years since 1900. So if right now was 1900, then this value would just be 0. But it's 2012, so this value is going to be 112. So what we need to do is just go ahead and add 1900 to it, since it's the number of years since 1900. Alright, so now when we go ahead and run this, we should just get out onto our screen 6/27/2012, which is just the current date. So I run this, and yep, sure enough, there we go. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial, looking at the time functions in C. So see you guys.